Hey everyone, I'm Pat Fitzmaurice, managing editor of Fantasy Pros and Betting Pros, and I am going to run through my favorite player props for the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. All right, let's get to it. And just a reminder that all lines are courtesy of DraftKings as of Thursday afternoon. Here we go. Let's start with Brock Purdy, 49ers quarterback, under 30.5 pass attempts. Purdy has made 6 starts for the 49ers in place of Jimmy Garoppolo after Garoppolo's season-ending injury. And Purdy has thrown more than 30 passes in only one of those 6 starts. He's averaged 25.7 pass attempts in those games. He's got a matchup against the Cowboys this week, and this is going to be Purdy's biggest NFL test so far. In his 6 previous starts, and in fact, in his 7 previous games, if we want to include the game where he replaced Jimmy Garoppolo very early in the game against Miami, he has not faced a defense that ranks in the top 12 of Football Outsiders DVOA against the pass. So he's not faced a top 12 pass defense yet. Dallas ranks number 3 in DVOA against the pass. The Cowboys pass rush has generated a league high 25.6% pressure rate. They can get after the passer. And with linebacker Leighton Vander Esch back for the Cowboys, Vander Esch missed weeks 16, 17, and 18. And when he was out, Micah Parsons was not free to rush the passer as often as the Cowboys would like. Vander Esch is back, and now they are turning Micah Parsons loose. That's trouble for Brock Purdy, who's going to have one of the best pass rushers coming after him all day. I think the 49ers are going to try to neutralize that pass rush by running the ball early and often. Yeah, this is a dangerous spot for a 7th-round rookie quarterback. I think the 49ers run it a lot to try to minimize the pressure on Purdy, keep the Dallas pass rush at bay. I don't think they want to put this game in the hands of their inexperienced quarterback. So Brock Purdy under 30.5 pass attempts in this one. Trevor Lawrence over 243.5 passing yards. The total for Jaguars Chiefs is 53 points. And Kansas City is an 8.5-point favorite, meaning the implied total for Kansas City in this game is 30.75 points. If things go according to the Las Vegas script here, the Jaguars are going to be chasing in this game. And if they're chasing, that means they're throwing aggressively in all likelihood, trying to keep pace with the high-flying Chiefs. That was the way it worked out when the Jaguars visited the Chiefs in Week 10. Kansas City won that game 27-17. Lawrence had 40 pass attempts in that game and threw for 259 yards. The Chiefs have faced the 3rd most pass attempts during the regular season, and Lawrence averaged 241.9 passing yards a game, just under this total during the regular season. But I think we're going to see the Jaguars forced to throw more than usual this week. So Trevor Lawrence over 243.5 passing yards. Joe Burrow under 279.5 passing yards. Rarely would I consider betting against Burrow. I don't like betting unders with him because I think he's awesome, but he is going to be playing behind a patchwork offensive line this week against the Bills, Sunday in Buffalo. Starting right tackle Lael Collins out for the year with the torn ACL and MCL. Starting left tackle Jonah Williams dislocated his kneecap last week against the Ravens. He's going to be out. Starting right tackle Alex Kappa. He's got a severe ankle injury. I saw a replay of that ankle injury this morning. I don't think he's playing this week. So, yeah, that's down 3 offensive linemen. And last week, with all those offensive linemen banged up, 2 of them leaving the game last week, Burrow threw for only 209 yards against the Ravens, and he averaged 6.5 yards per pass attempt, which compares to 7.4 per attempt during the regular season. So, the Bengals passing game was limited with all those offensive linemen hurt. We saw Burrow throwing much shorter passes, not really attacking downfield. Like Ja'Marr Chase had 9 receptions in that game, but averaged under 10 yards per catch. I think Burrow is going to have trouble generating big plays in the passing game this week. So under 279.5 yards seems like a really good percentage play this week. I'll get to the rest of my favorite props for the divisional round in just a minute. But first, subscribe to the BettingPros YouTube channel and comment below on this video, because when you do, you could win a free upgrade to BettingPros Premium. Whether you're looking for access to exclusive picks, top-rated player props, or custom analysis of your own betting performances, BettingPros Premium has the tools to help you cash more bets. Plain and simple. You don't want to wait for the giveaway. Sign up today at bettingpros.com/upgrade and start betting smarter, not harder. All right, back to the player props. Travis Etienne under 70.5 rushing yards. And this one really goes hand in hand with the over on Trevor Lawrence's passing yardage. With the Jaguars 8.5-point underdogs, there's a good chance they're going to be in chase mode, playing catch up against the Chiefs, which would mean a pass heavy game script. And again, we did see that when the Jaguars played the Chiefs in week 10. Chiefs won by 10 points, 27-17, and Etienne had 11 carries for 45 yards in that game. Kansas City's defense has been a pass funnel all season, largely because opponents are in catch-up mode so often. The Chiefs faced the 4th fewest rushing attempts by running backs during the regular season and gave up the 8th fewest rushing yards to running backs. Travis Etienne under 70.5 rushing yards. Kadarius Toney of the Chiefs under 31.5 receiving yards. When Toney last faced the Jaguars in week 10, he had 4 catches for 57 yards and a touchdown. It was his second highest yardage total in his 7 games with the Chiefs. But in the 5 games he's played since, Toney has caught 8 passes for 102 yards, averaging only 2 targets a game during that span. He just has not been very involved in the Kansas City passing game. And Toney played a season high 28 snaps when he played the Jaguars back in week 10, but he has not played more than 19 snaps in any game since. And he's averaged just 14.4 snaps over his last 5 games. So with as few opportunities as Toney has been getting, I think it seems pretty unlikely he is going to exceed 31.5 receiving yards. A.J. Brown over 71.5 receiving yards. This is a momentum selection. A.J. Brown has cleared this number, 71.5, in 4 straight games and in 5 of the last 6. 2 of his last 6 games were against the Giants. He had 4 catches for 70 yards and 1 touchdown in one of those games, and 4 catches for 95 yards and no touchdowns in one of those games. So 1 for 1 hitting this number, 1 out of 2 hitting this number against the Giants. But since the beginning of December, Brown has averaged 9.8 targets, 5.8 receptions, and 110.8 receiving yards per game. He has been a monster for the Eagles down the stretch. In his 2 most recent playoff performances, Brown had 6 catches for 83 yards and a touchdown against the Ravens in January of 2021. And he had 5 catches for 142 yards and a touchdown against the Bengals in January of 2022. Mind you, that was with the Tennessee Titans, who have a far less potent offense than the Philadelphia Eagles. I really like A.J. Brown over 71.5 receiving yards against the Giants this weekend. And finally, for a 3rd straight week, I'm going with the Hayden Hurst under on receiving yardage. It's set at 33.5 this week. Hurst has played 9 games this season in which Bengals wide receiver Ja'Marr Chase and T. Higgins have both been active, and he has finished with under 30 receiving yards in 6 of those 9 games. Hurst is facing a Buffalo defense that has been stingy toward tight ends this season, allowing just 38.5 receiving yards per game to tight ends. during the regular season. It's possible that with the Bengals missing all of these offensive linemen, including both of their starting offensive tackles, that Hurst runs fewer routes than usual and is asked to stay in and chip block against the Buffalo edge rushers this week. So possible he's not as busy as a pass catcher this week. And I like the under on Hayden Hurst at 33.5 receiving yards. So let's recap this week's selections. Brock Purdy under 30.5 passing attempts. Trevor Lawrence over 243.5 passing yards. Joe Burrow under 279.5 passing yards. Travis Etienne under 70.5 rushing yards. Kadarius Toney under 31.5 receiving yards. A.J. Brown over 71.5 receiving yards. And Hayden Hurst under 33.5 receiving yards. All right, my friends, good luck to you with all your wagers this weekend, and let's hope the divisional round is as entertaining as Super Wildcard Weekend was last week. Good luck, everyone.